Good morning, everyone. Yeah, very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Yes, in the last class we have finished with the various documents or various, we can say, the tools that is used for the documentation. What are the various tools that is used for the documentation? So let's start with the previous class session where we have covered in the last class, that is the test, document review, literature review, and let's move to the next part, that is what we are going to study in the today's class. So let's start with the first part, that is what we have covered in the last class, that is a test. Shall we start or shall I wait for someone else? Okay. Now let's see what is the test. What is the test about? How many respondents, how many persons are available in the test? So what is a test? For example, if I'm taking an assessment, that is a test. So any that assess your knowledge or the skill level. That means assess means that judge your knowledge or the skill level, that is known as a test. And it can be essay in the or the a test may be in the form of the essay, it may be in the form of the fill in the blanks, it may be in the form of the true or false. So it depends on the test to test. Any form can take the test. Any form in the sense it may be essay, it may be fill in the blanks, it may be true, false, anything that is required for the test. So any exam that assess the knowledge or the skill level, that is known as a test, and it can be essay, it can be fill in the blanks, it can be true false, or it can be the multiple choice formats. Now how many respondents or the participants are available in this one? This is from 25 to the 1000. So it depends from the 25 to the 1000, whatever the number that you are generated. So it depends on the 1000 or the 25 to the 1000. So it have a first of all it have a 25 and it have a 1000. So this is from the 25 to the 1000 that is available with this. And numbers are limited by the length of the test. So whatever the numbers that is limited with the length of the test, that is set or the agree and its format. So whatever the format, whatever the test, whatever the set agree format, that is used with the length of the test. And the bubble test can be administered to the 100 or the 1000 assuming excess. So whatever the excess criteria, whatever the admin process that is used with the 100 or the 1000 that assume the excess. And essay tests are limited by the ability to score them. So whatever the essay test that is available, that are limited by the ability, whatever the ability of the person that is used to score them. Then next is what are the various time issues. So this is from what are the various time that is taken for the test. This is from the 10 minutes to the 1 hour. So minimum have a 10 minutes and the maximum have a 1 hour to administer or to go through the test. Although most of the participants should write or this is a test that should take more than a minute to complete. So these are the tests that is more than a minute to complete, because everything is available with the test, and this is only for you judging the knowledge. The development of a valid and the reliable test instrument can take the months also, can take the valid instruments also. Data analysis, if closed-ended questions are used, should take a short amount of time. Short amount, maybe any amount of time that is required with the closed-ended questions. Then next is the cost issue. What are the various cost issues? So first is what are the various cost issues? There is no cost issue because it is inexpensive to moderately expensive. It is very low cost to the high or the moderate expensive. And the greatest cost in issues revolve around the development of the test. And if the instruments exist or simple measures of the knowledge skills are used, then development cost will be limited. Whatever the development cost, whatever the skills, whatever the knowledge that is required for this one, so there's a development cost that will be limited to this one, that will be limited to the cost issues. So first is what is the test, then how many respondents or the participants are available, what are the various time issues, what are the various cost issues, when to use it, that means when it is required to use the test. So tests are used when the evaluator wants to assess the audience level of the knowledge or the skills, and the test also measure a point in time. They cannot predict the future or the past performance, and if it is administered at interval, so test can also provide an indication of the change. Whatever the indication of the change that get provided, so this will be provided with the indication of the change with the various levels, with the increased understanding with the overtime procedure, that is the pre-post assessment longitudinal. So when should you use it? It is used to assess the audience level of the knowledge or the skills. Whatever the audience level, that is used with the scale, that is used with the measure of the point of the time that is available, and they cannot predict the future or the past performance, because test is what you have right now, that is only the present, not the future, not the past. And if it is administered at the interval, test can also provide an indication of the change, whatever the indication, whatever the increased understanding, whatever the overtime that may be a pre-post assessment, longitudinal, whatever the time issues, whatever the cost issues that is variable, so that is the pre and the post assessment. So tests are used when the evaluators wants to assess the audience level of the knowledge or the skills, and tests also measure a point in time. They cannot predict the future or the past performance, and if it is administered at the interval, test can also provide an indication of the change, whatever the indication that is used for the change, or the overtime or the pre-post assessment. Next, what are the various benefits, or what are some of the benefits that is used with the test? That is, what are the various advantages of using the test? So it has to identify the level of the knowledge of the skill. So first one is it has to identify what is the main level of the knowledge of the skill, that is achievement and accountability. Then results are easily quantified. Whatever the results that are required, that are easily quantified with the requirement, that are easily quantified with the judging. So results are easily quantified. It helps to identify the level of the knowledge of the skill. Then individual performances can be easily compared. So whatever the individual performance or the criteria that is taken out, so that can be easily compared with the individual performances. Then it has to determine if intervention has made or had made a difference in the knowledge or the skill level. So what is the main skill level? What is the intervention that made a difference in the knowledge or the skill level, that helps to determine. It helps to identify the level of the knowledge. Results are easily quantified. Individual performances can be easily compared. It helps to determine if the intervention has made a difference in the knowledge or the skill level. Now, what are some of the limitations, or what are the various limitations of conducting the test? So first is limited availability of the validity test for a specific situations. That is, it must be a, or it may be a, or it is of the limited availability. Limited availability means there is no availability of the validated tests that are used for the specific situations. Then next is the validity issues. What are the various validity issues that is used for the test? So does it test the appropriate knowledge or not? So there must be appropriate knowledge that is required for the validity test. So it is not sure that all the tests are very valid to test the appropriate knowledge. No, everything is not limited over there. So we have to test the validity issues that is used with the appropriate knowledge and the skills. Then language of the vocabulary can be also an issue. So it is differ from person to person. Tests are different from person to person. Language of the vocab can be one of the issues, one of the limitation that is using with the test. Then people can be very concerned with how the test results will be utilized. So people will be very concerned, or it can be very concerned with how the test results will be utilized, how we are utilizing the test result, especially the adults. That is how we can be at the test, or what are the knowledge that is gained from getting the test. Then adult information, whatever the adult information that is gathered, whatever the requirement of the data that is gathered over here. So adults sometimes reset or resent taking the test will typically have a negative connotation. So adults sometimes have a negative connotation if they can reset the test or resent taking the test, that have a negative connotation and they have a negative attitude behavior. So first is advantage is it helps to identify the level of the knowledge of the skills. Then results are easily quantified, results are easily gathered or easily judged. Then individual performances can be easily compared. Then helps to determine if the intervention has made a difference in the knowledge or the skill level. Then limited availability of the validity test for the specific conditions. Validity issues, whatever the validity issues. Then language of the vocab can be an issue. Then people can be very concerned with how the test results will be utilized, especially the adult, then adults sometimes resent taking the test, which typically have a negative connotation. Negative connotation in the sense negative issue that is available with the test. This is also one of the limitations. So some are the benefits, some are the limitation that is used with the test. Then next is concept map. That is the next tool that is used for the judging out, that is used for the taking out. So this concept map is a graphical representation of how an individual thinks about a topic. That means what is the main criteria, what is a graphical representation. For example, when we talk about the ear diagram that is explained, so how the ear diagram will be used or how the individual thinks about a topic, that is known as the concept map. It is a graphical representation of how an individual thinks about a topic. What is the main content that is used about the topic? What is the main criteria that is used with the main topic? We can say what are the various attributes, what are the various key concepts, what are the various key map that is used with the attribute that is used with the concept map. So in simple terms, it is a graphical representation of how an individual thinks about a topic. Then concept map also depicts that how the mind is able to recognize the information in a hierarchical manner. That means what comes first, what next, what next, what next. So it is able to recognize the information in a hierarchical manner, that is, and not the new information is connected to the existing information. No, everything in the hierarchy. First old manners, then second manner, third manner, whatever the manner that is used with the information in the hierarchical manner. The next question arises, how many respondents or the participants are available with this concept map? So it typically have a 5 to 20 peoples or 5 to 20 participants or the respondent. And the number of individuals asked to produce a concept map can be increased, but time and cost also increase. So if the number of the participants increases, then the time and the cost also increases, because if the number are produced or number are more, then the individual thinking are more. So we have to represent that in the typical graphical format. That is, in that case also, time and the cost is also increased. The next one is the time issues. What are the time issues? That is from the 5 to the 45 minutes. And before data can be collected, respondent will need to learn how to draw a concept map. How to draw means how to use or how to make a pictorial representation of how to draw a concept map. The data analysis is slow and the time consuming. It can take the weeks, especially if the concept map are complex, showing many relationships among the ideas of the large number of individuals produce the concept. So this is also a time issues. It is from the 5 to 45 minutes, but if the respondents are high, respondents are increased, so it can take another time, another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. So that means it depends on the number of participants that is available for making the concept map. Because if the members are increased, their thinking are increased, their values are increased, graphical notations are increased, so that also take the more and more time to draw a concept. Data analysis is slow and time consuming. It can take a week, especially if the concept map are complex, showing down many relationship among the ideas, or if a large number of individuals produce concept maps. Then analysis of the concept map also requires expertise and the training. Expertise and the training in the sense, what is the time issue that is gathered for the for the expertise and the training, whatever the analysis part that is taken out with the expertise and the training for this. The next is when to use it. So how best it is used. So it is best used when the evaluator wants to understand the relationship among the ideas or the attitudes. What is the main relationship between the ideas? What is the main idea among this one? What is the main attitude among this one? What is the main understanding level of the relationship among the ideas or the attitude? And because it is structured differently from a test or typical survey, constructing a concept map may be less intimidating for someone. For some in the sense, especially for those who are uncomfortable with the test. So whatever the issues, whatever the term that is used, so that is used with the uncomfortably with the test, that is used with the typical or the typical survey test or typical survey, that also conducting a concept map, that also uses with the concept map with the less intimating for someone, less understanding for someone, how we are going to access this one or how we are going to use this. Next is, what are some of the benefits of this of using the concept map? So it also provides a visual representation of how individuals see the topic and the relationship among the ideas. what is the main relationship among the ideas, how it represents in a visual format, that is or what are the various benefits, or how the visual representation of the various terms, various individuals see the topic and the relationship among the ideas. So it is a graphical notation that shows how the individuals see the topic and the relationship. Then next is next benefit is that it is also tend to reduce the test anxiety, because people have a, we can say, nervous when anyone asked, or when someone asked for this one. So it is also a fun, it is also anxiety, so there is no anxiety among the people, so there is no anxiety among the test, for the test. So this tends to reduce the test anxiety. Then next is it also allows a respondent to illustrate the complex ideas and the relationship. What is a complex idea and what is a relationship, and how it is used, and particularly that is used for the visual learners. Then what are some of the limitations, or what are the various limitations of this concept map? The various limitations, or these are the various, we can say, the drawbacks of using the concept map. So it is very difficult, or it is difficult to score. It is difficult to score the concept map. It is difficult to give the scoring in the case of the concept map, because everything in the pictorial representation is done by the different software or the tool that is used. Then time consuming to score. So it is very time consuming to score the ideas, and each idea and the relationship must be analyzed. So whatever the idea, whatever the relationship, that must be analyzed for the limitation, that must be analyzed to show what are the various scores that is used for this one. Then participant must be taught how to construct a concept map. So they must be taught, they must be, we can say, they have a knowledge, that is how to construct a concept map. What are the various ways by which we can use the concept map? What is the various criteria for using the concept map? Then it can be very difficult to determine the commonalities, that is a pattern among the participants, or compare the participants' understanding. What are the participant understanding that is used? How to compare them, how to use them, what are the various drawbacks of using the limitations, what are the various drawbacks for using the understanding of this one. So it can be very difficult to determine the commonalities, that is the patterns among the participants, or compare the participants' understanding. What is the participant understanding? How it is difficult to judge the participant understanding, how it is used with the various participants, how it is gathered, how it is used with the various concept maps. The next one is the document or the product review. So we have done with the concept map, we have done with the literature review. Any doubts, anyone in the concept map or the literature review, anything that you want to ask? Next one is the document or the product review. Next two. So that is our document is prepared for the product review. That is, what is it? So there's the systematic examination of the documents. Example, the rosters, timesheet, portfolio, photographs, participant work that is collected during a project. So whatever the criteria, whatever the project, whatever the document of the project review that is gathered. So this is gathered for the systematic examination of the document. Examination in the sense, whatever the document, we have to study the documents, examine the documents, what they are going to ask. That may include the rosters, that may include the timesheets, portfolios, photographs, participant work, whatever the scenario, whatever the product review that is used, that is collected during a project. Now, how many respondents or how many participants are available, or are used, or are have a in the document of the product review? How many respondents? That is not applicable, because everything is in the written form, everything is in the documentation, so there is no respondent, there is no participant that is used over here. The next is, what are the various time issues that is available with that is used with the document or the product review? So it varies. It depends on the number of document that is fetched. It depends on the number of document that is scanned out. So it depends on the number of documents. Whatever the number of document, that is a time issue. So if there are large number of document, the large, or we can say the huge time is required. The availability and the amount of information being analyzed. Whatever the information that is being analyzed, the availability and the amount of information that is analyzed. Then what are the various cost issues? So data collection is relatively inexpensive. Inexpensive in the sense there is no cost for this one, and assuming that documents can be retrieved easily and happily. And data analysis may be time consuming and therefore expensive. But when we talk about the collection, that is very inexpensive. Analysis is very expensive. It is also a time consuming. So collection is easy, collection is inexpensive, analysis is tough, difficult, time consuming, and therefore the expensive. Next question is when to use it. So time issues is over, cost issues is over. Now when to use the this one, when to use the document or the product review. The documents can be used to quantify the particular project component, that is the number of participants, amount of time spent on the task, cost. Whatever the document review task, that is an unobstructive, does not impact on the delivery of the project. Whatever the document that is prepared, that will also provide the multiple measures of the same construct, allowing the evaluators to examine the process from more than one direction. How it is used, what are the various ways to identify or quantify a particular project components. The documents can be used to quantify a particular project component, that is the number of participants, amount of the time spent on a task, cost. A document review is unobstructive and does not impact on the delivery of the project. And it can also provide the multiple measures of the same construct, allowing the evaluators to examine the process, whatever the process that is used, whatever the evaluation that is used, or that is used to examine the process from more than one direction. Then, what are some of the benefits of using this one? And that is known as the document of the product review. So it is relatively cost-free, cost-effective. That means it is very inexpensive to use the um, document of the product review. Then, assuming documents have been archived, data analysis can take place at any time. So it assumes that the documents have been archived, has been used. Data analysis can be taken place at any of the point of time. Then documents can be used to monitor the development of a project. Whatever the document, whatever the procedure that is carried out, so that is used to monitor the development of a project. Then project history can be documented. Whatever the project history that is documented, whatever the project scenario that can be documented. Documented in the sense we are analyzing, we are making the comparisons of the duplicate copies, we are making the comparisons of how it works, how it is follows, and what are the various benefits of using this. Then data collection is often unobstructive in the sense whatever the issue that is required for this. So we have finished with the document review, we have finished with the concept map. Now, yeah, we are finished with the document review. What is that document review? How many respondent participants are available? What is the time issue in this? What is the cost issue? When to use? What are benefits? What are the limitations? Now, anyone, any doubts over here in regarding this one, regarding this concept map, regarding this literature review, any doubts, anyone in this? Any doubt in the assignment? So if you have any doubts, any clarification that you want to ask, you can ask it from your end via the chat, via the phone, whatever the tool that you want to use. But main thing is that you have to clear your doubt, because that will only help you that how to generate a